From the 3-year-old who was arrested for driving a minicar with her mom present,
Gonna have to issue you guys tickets. I mean, oh,
She doesn't want to go right.
all right.
to the priceless reaction of a mother when told her son was headed for prison.
So that's what our job is to make contact, because these kids think it is a game or a joke, so they go ahead and make these comments.
But it's just a comment, so how is there an...
And the father who didn't want anything to do with his daughter after her arrest.
Yeah, they need to learn a valuable lesson, man. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Have respect for authority. They always say the police and the police. You know what? I did 10 years in prison. Did I ever say the police? You know what? I up myself.
Here are a few examples of parents' reactions after realizing that their children were facing prison. Each story shows how their lives were changed and how they dealt with the tough situation. Let's start with this mother of a 15-year-old boy who cried non-stop in an attempt to influence the officer's decision.
Or an act of
He's a
terrorism.
little boy. He
He's a
didn't do anything wrong. Yes, he's 15, but he's still a little boy, and he's not one of the...
On August 16, 2019, Volusia County officers started an arrest operation after getting a tip from the FBI. The tip was about a kid who had made threats to carry out a mass shooting at his school.
I, Dalton Barnhart, vow to bring my father's M15 to school and kill 7 people.
I don't remember saying it at school,
And Falcon Warrior 920?
Yeah.
Who's that? Okay. Go ahead and turn around. Put your hands on your back. He's under arrest currently for making a threat to cause a mass shooting / act of terror. It's a
Cause a mass shooting?
Yes. He made a statement, a written threat to plan or to carry out a mass shooting.
But he's just a little kid playing a video game.
And all
That's
these kids
so
keep
far.
getting arrested. And that's why the FBI and the local law enforcement is spending so much time. Because how do we know he's not going to be the kid from Parkland? He's not going to be the next kid, the kid that shot up Sandy Hook. We don't know that. So when you draw the attention to you by making these statements as they may be jokes, I mean, I wouldn't expect the kid to go, yeah, I'm dead serious. I'm going to go shoot everybody up. No, when they're caught, it's a joke. I didn't mean it. It's a joke. That's when you're caught.
But these games, these kids say stuff like that all the time. It is a joke to them. It's a game.
Guess what
wrong.
my time in
Hate
law
that
enforcement is spent doing? Is arresting these kids for making these statements all the time, and for stopping acts too as well.
Okay.
So that's what our job is to make contact, because these kids think it is a game or a joke, so they go ahead and make these comments.
But it's just a comment, so how is there an arrest?
There's a Florida state statute that says you cannot make a written threat to cause a mass shooting, act, or kill or harm anybody else.
The mother had not fully understood the seriousness of her son's actions. Federal law, such as U.S. Code 18, Section 875, and various state laws address different aspects of written threats, including threats made through interstate communications and threats against individuals or groups based on certain characteristics. Penalties can vary depending on the severity and context of the threat. By the time she realized that the officers were there for something serious, the situation became too overwhelming for her.
So, he'll be going to DJJ.
What's that?
The juvenile jail. He'll be placed in there for several days, and we're going to go from there. The charge is a felony. It might be a second or third degree. I have to double check, because a written threat to harm somebody is a third degree felony. Second degree is when you involve a mass shooting of a school or an act of
He's a
terrorism.
little boy. He didn't do anything wrong. Yes, he's 15, but he's still a little boy, and he's not one of the crazy people out there doing stuff.
Okay, well, he did what he did.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be treated as though he is a terrorist or something because he made a silly statement on a stupid video game.
Well, in a world where schools and kids are going to school to learn and are getting shot and killed because people...
I understand that, but at the same token, I mean, you have to look at things case by case too. I mean, he's not that person.
Do you own a gun?
Despite the mother's heartfelt insistence that her child was different and wouldn't actually carry out such threats, the law is clear and unyielding. It makes no exceptions, and ignorance of the law is no defense. The officer firmly emphasized this point, explaining that all threats are taken seriously and that everyone is held accountable for their actions, regardless of intent or personal circumstances. This harsh reality left the mother feeling helpless and distressed, realizing the full weight of the situation she was now facing.
Do you own a gun?
I have a gun, yes.
Okay, so he has hands and feet. He can grab your gun and go do something.
He would never do anything like that anyway.
We don't know. We don't know.
No, but I know. And I know.
Most parents have it, ma'am. We're going to take him. He's going to go to our operations center, and we will go from there. But this is where we're at. This is the world we live in, where people think it's funny to say, I'm going to go kill people at school.
Well, he's not people. He's a child.
Okay.
There's a difference. He's playing a video game and he's a boy.
And that's why he'll be charged as a juvenile.
The officers arrested the kid and took him into custody. He faced charges for a felony offense, marking the start of a tough legal battle for his family. The mother's excuses for her son's behavior clearly showed why he ended up in trouble. However, in the next case, the father set a great example by teaching his child an important life lesson.
Yes, all of them need to go to jail. They need to learn a valuable lesson, man. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Have respect for authority.
On January 20th, 2023, police officers arrested 4 teenage girls, Maria, Denise, Irissa, and Aaliyah, for stealing a car. This wasn't just any car. It belonged to Maria's dad. When the officers brought Maria and her friends to her father, he made it clear that he wanted them to face the consequences of their actions.
They got all my information. He said if I wanted to press charges, he said yes. All of them need to go to jail. They need to learn a valuable lesson, man. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Have respect for authority. They always say the police and the police. You know what? I did 10 years in prison. Did I ever say the police? You know what? I up myself. Okay? I have respect for the CEOs. I have respect for everybody. It was my business that I went and did what I did. Okay? But I never acted like that. You know? A real G takes care of his shit. You know what I mean? That is ridiculous. I put a roof over her head. I took her from harm's way. I went to Mexico to get her. When she was 3 months old, she had a breathing problem. Her mother left her in the room for like 2 weeks by herself. She almost died, man. You know what I mean? But she doesn't think about that. And I brought her and I had to get paperwork from the district court and everything just to get her here.
Which one's your daughter?
Maria.
Maria?
We'll just wrap everything up and then we're going to call their parents.
Okay.
Yeah, they need to go to jail. Yeah, they need to go to
These
jail.
the same ones that were breaking stuff in your house?
They broke $1,000 worth of windows.
Yeah.
These girls are part of all these girls right here are part of that. Okay? Did any of the parents come forward and say, you know what, I'm going to take responsibility for what my kid did, right? And pay a little bit, or call James up and have some way I could pay, right? No, they didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what, before the sun...
Chances are they got to call JPO. Yeah. JPO is the only one that can approve detention. Like, I know you want them in jail, so do we. But if JPO says, no, we don't approve detainment, all they get is juvenile citation, and it sucks. Because you're right, the system's broken, it sucks. Nobody understands that better than us. Yeah. We can arrest them on violent crimes, and JPO's like, hey, release them back to the parent.
Well,
yeah, what if
I'm going to work.
What if the parent's the victim?
Yeah.
So you just want to release them back?
Yeah,
so
I'm going to go to work, so I don't know who she's going to be released to. I'm going straight back to work, so they can... I don't know. They can take her to jail.
Just check in with those officers right quick. The ones that are around you see their lights. Just make sure they don't need nothing.
Unfortunately, due to departmental guidelines and procedures, the officers were required to return the girls to their guardians. This decision did not sit well with Maria's dad, who made it clear that he did not want Maria back home with him. When the officers informed Maria of her father's decision, she was left feeling devastated and deeply upset.
Maria, here's the plan. You want to know the plan? Dad doesn't want you at the house. CYFD, JPO, is not authorizing you to go to jail. So you can't go to jail. But I can't let you go with anybody that's not your relative, and your dad's not working with me on that. So the best option we could do is I'm going to turn you over to Child Protective Services, and they're going to try to find you placement, probably in a foster home temporarily until you can figure.
Maria's situation was certainly tragic, but Denise faced a similar fate. Her parents also wanted nothing to do with her, leaving her in a similarly distressing position.
We can't put you in your aunt's home.
You guys
and then
make it so
your aunt is willing to
hard
work with
though.
us.
You guys make it so hard. Like, I've been through so much already. You guys just don't understand. Like, I promise I won't run away from my dad's house. I won't do anything bad to go to my dad's house.
Denise and Maria ultimately had to be sent to juvenile centers, while the other 2 teenagers were fortunate to have parents who welcomed them back home. However, the reaction of these parents when the officers returned their children was quite amusing and surprising. providing a lighter moment amid the otherwise serious situation.
Doing? Good. Hey, I'm Officer Recall CPD. Are you Emily? Yeah. Got your daughter in the back seat. Lucky for her, she's not getting charged with anything today. Basically what happened is her and some friends went over to the friend's dad's house and stole his truck. And so the other two are in trouble.
What do I need to do with her because she's on probation?
Yeah, so because she's not charged with a crime, it's not a violation, but I'm going to leave you with a card.
Okay.
And let her probation officer know. I told her the same thing. I'm going to tell your mom, let the officer know, and you need to let her know that you had interaction with us, you got detained, because basically the truck was taken, they ditched it on Camino Real because some officers started following them and they all ran off.
Wow.
And so, lucky
you
for
hear that, Amy?
So, I will give you a business card with that case number.
One of her friends stole the dad's truck. Oh, she's so grounded, dude.
She had a backpack on her, and I told her I was going to ask this in front of you.
The offenders in both of these previous cases were teens. However, watch the mother's reaction when the officer arrests her 3-year-old daughter. While on patrol duty, a Cleveland police officer noticed 2 young children riding a toy car and proceeded to conduct a traffic stop, as he suspected they were exceeding the speed limit.
Hi, can I see your driver's license, proof of insurance?
There's not a driving license.
You don't have a driver's license?
No, it's just a romantic car.
Where's the engine?
That's a battery. That's the...
I see the battery. Where's the engine?
That's the engine.
Okay, well, neither one of you got seatbelts on.
They're fake seatbelts.
Stay right here. I'll be right back.
The officer seemed to be having fun with the kids as he proceeded to write fake traffic tickets for their alleged reckless driving.
I'm going to have to issue you guys tickets. I mean... Oh!
She doesn't want to go right.
All right. I won't issue you the ticket.
The 3-year-old had started to cry, but her mom knew the officer was joking and approached the situation with humor.
Okay.
Needless to say, the outburst was enough to exonerate the baby passenger, but the 3-year-old driver still got tickets on the count of no seatbelts on both driver and passenger crying, and overspeeding.
She's not getting a ticket, but you are. You still are because you're the driver.
How fast was he going, officer?
No seatbelt. No seatbelt for your passenger. And for speeding.
The 3-year-old was filed to appear in court after both he and his mother had nothing to say or offer other than the nonstop laughter at the hilarious situation. In that case, the situation was all fun and games. However, things were far more serious in our next case. On February 7, 2022, local police and the FBI were called in after a family with young children caused such chaos on a public flight that the plane had to make an emergency landing.
I'm going. Hi, sir. Can you guys go and step up the plane for me, please? Yes.
All of us?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it?
I have 2 more kids in the back. Here?
Okay.
So all of us?
Yes.
After being removed from the plane, the officer in charge escorted the family to a designated area in the airport for questioning about the incident. The officers needed to understand what had caused the disturbance and assess the appropriate next steps for handling the situation.
Alright, so it started, I went to the bathroom, and then, I just kind of stood outside the bathroom just to relax my legs. I was just there by coincidence, okay? Probably my son was looking for me, just was crossing the aisle, okay? And then in front of my face, the flight attendant holding him, shaking him like this, and he didn't know that I'm his father. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Leave my son alone. Like, no, he's walking around, you cannot do that. Start screaming, cursing me, okay? Fuck you. That, coming to my face, cursing my wife, okay? He's like, no, we'll talk with your seat.
Everything started because of his
Now, I'm going back to the seat. This guy come and scream at me. Keep screaming.
The guy who came and screamed at you
It's the flight attendant.
So the same flight attendant?
Same flight attendant held him like this.
The male, not one of
It's a
the
male.
females. Plus, let me ask you a question. Did you have cameras on the aircraft?
One second.
No.
One second.
That I know of anyway, no.
I'm telling you exactly.
They explained that their child had been manhandled by a flight attendant, which understandably made them angry. However, that wasn't the only issue. They also recounted a confrontation with another passenger, adding to the chaos on the flight.
Now my son's crossing the aisle to look for me probably, and then I see him doing this. I'm like, you cannot touch my son, you know?
In a very brutal way.
Very brutal way. And then the way he screamed, the whole plane heard it. Then I going back to my seat, you know, talking to my wife. We speak Hebrew, so I spoke to Hebrew. Another guy from 3 seats after telling me, did you this guy shut the fuck up?
We were very annoyed
and I was
from the
like,
situation.
And I was like, if I don't want to shut up, what are you going to do?
That's it. And this
a
guy...
random passenger was telling you?
Random passenger from third, three rows.
Next to us.
So that's what happened. And then I'm hearing that the plane landed. I'm like, the plane is going to land. Okay, I'm like, for me, it's a joke.
Their testimony seemed to serve their interests well, but the police, being thorough professionals, proceeded to question the other passengers on the plane. These passengers provided a completely different account of the events, shedding new light on what had actually transpired.
Well, I'm not sure I heard... Oh, I heard him saying... What did he say? Don't... He said something like, don't ma'am. You said something like, sir, please.
Made their threats against the other one.
Oh, about shooting him? Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Okay. So, what exactly did
transpire?
Yeah, but, well, just in that short time between the flight attendants telling him that
He claims that another passenger, the kid was, the little boy apparently was running.
He was sprinting to the cockpit and back. Okay.
Well, and the little girl was up there at least 6 or 7 times too. The daughter was up and down and up and down and up and down. And then finally, he started yelling at this other passenger because he's saying, you touched my child, you shook my child or something. So I didn't see any of that or hear any of that. I don't know if you guys did. Maybe people in the back did.
I had earbuds in.
Okay.
But he was like, oh, don't touch my kid. You know, you touch my kid again. What did he say exactly? Something like, I'll shoot you?
I heard it was even after that, he had said, I know who you are now, I know how to find you, and I'm going to shoot you.
In light of this information, they were removed from the flight and subsequently turned over to the FBI following the entire incident. Hey, if you enjoy videos like this, please like, subscribe, and watch our next one.